Hello, everyone, and welcome to this late start Casual Boots. I hope you can hear me. It's been a whole thing. Hey, how's it going? I'm Ben Creighton in the commentating booth. I'll be joined soon by Cherak. We have a Casual Boots Group K race here between Gylgamesh and FoxLisk. And yeah, it's been a whole thing. But we should have a good match. And hey, it's just Escape. We've all seen Escape. Do you need me to explain Escape to you? We're good, right? It's 6 minutes. It's less with boots. You go fast. You get key. Gilgamesh just got a key. We're in casual boots mode. You start with the boots. You start with a sword. It's a whole tournament. Apologies, folks. I am still trying to get my bearings in here. All right, apologies there. I was just pulling up the challenge here. We are in Group K. As I said, we do have FoxLisk here against Gylgamesh, and it looks like they are both at 3-3. So this is looking to be a bit of an important race for the two of them here today. We are winding our way to the close of the group stage in this particular tournament. Nothing too terribly exciting happening here in Escape quite yet. Typically won't be anything too crazy until we get to the village area, but who knows? FoxLisk doing a little bit of enemy farming here. Nets himself a full magic refill, plus a little bit of money. And there we go. Looks like he was looking for some bombage. Just a little bit of health there in the back of Escape. Twin Mommy in chat informing us that Fox is apparently a 1 hour 24 NMG player. I don't know how that stacks up to Gylgamesh, but it's way better than me. And Fox giving us a save and quit out of the sank here. So we're getting a little divergence here straight out of Escape. Fox is going to take his bomb south and do some South Shore action as Gylgamesh makes a slightly more conventional play through Bunk Rocks and then almost certainly through Lost Woods after that. And that'll be another shield there in the dam, plus $50. Not a bad thing to have early on. Just hearts on the bush crab today. Nothing to get excited about. And that's a hammer, a 300 stack of rupees, and a little more health there in Mini Moldorm Cave. That's going to bring Fox temptingly close to Zora money. We'll see if that affects his decision-making going forward. Meanwhile, Gylgamesh is coming out of Lost Woods. Unfortunately, we had some stream hiccups there, and I did not see if he got anything exciting in there. Just bombs in Ice Rod Cave, and let's take a look at Blind's hideout. Master Sword. Always nice to get that sword upgrade early. Although it does mean we are just a lamp away from AGA 1 access. And yep, sure enough, Fox is farming some rupees in the Rupee Cave south of Ice Rod Cave here. Looks like he is thinking that a trip to Zora is going to be in his near future. Yeah, not a bad spot to farm some rupees, and that was a medallion there on Gilgamesh's side. Also a blue mail. Okay, I was going to say I thought it was Ether, but I wanted to wait for our eagle-eyed tracker. Also a mirror there in the well, and a red boomerang. And just $40 there in the Waterfall Ferry, which ironically means that Fox probably could have skipped that rupee farming, but he couldn't have known that at the time. Better safe than sorry. And that's an ice rod in the back of the tavern, so no worries about an ice rod hunt today. Scamfish gonna scam. That's 500 rupees for a paltry 1 rupee return. And a shovel there in the library. So yeah, not too much for Fox to get excited about avoiding CAC for so long, but it's not going to cost him that much time either. It's what, the equivalent of a couple screen transitions, really? Because it's doubtful that Gylgamesh is going to be able to skip those checks. He could opt to avoid Zora if he doesn't find himself in line for Zora money. But that's a lamp on race game, so yeah, very much a loaded CAC village. And that is AGA 1 access 10.5 minutes into this particular race. And Gylgamesh, following the conventional wisdom here, which is that when you have a shovel, ooh, and it gets him the level 3 sword. So just loaded for bear early on here. But yeah, when you have that shovel, it tends to be a good idea to just go ahead and blind pull race game, because you know you're going to have to turn around anyway. And I'm joined in the commentating booth by Jarok. How you doing today?
I'm okay now that I finally got allowed to come in. How are you?
Oh, doing all right. So, Yep, just 10 minutes into this, we had some early divergence. Just to catch you up real quick here. FoxLisk did some South Shore and Water Walk action. Didn't get much, but we've got an absolutely loaded CAC, including AGA 1 access on Gylgamesh's side.
Ooh, no one likes to see that.
Yeah, Gylgamesh has the knowledge of what is on Lumberjack, but unfortunately we missed it due to stream shenanigans.
I see we're at Tempered already. Sweet Jesus, they're getting lucky.
Yep, Fox just found that second sword there in Blind's basement, and Gylgamesh had pulled the third sword out of Shovel Spot. So yeah, absolutely loaded for bear today.
Looks like chat saying that it was a heart container on a Lumberjack, so at least there's that.
Yep, no, that was just a blink and you miss it map check. I saw a green pendant up there on Hera. So, yep, closing in on 15 minutes into this race, and as is usually the case, it's a big game of Moon Pearl, Moon Pearl. Who's got the Moon Pearl? I'm gonna guess Eastern area. That's my call.
Could be that elusive pearl on the pyramid ledge too, though.
Yeah, that's the really rude spot that it could be. And Gylgamesh finding his hammer that FoxLisk found. That's true. That was the thing that he found in South Shore. And between that and the mirror, that will also get us a good deal of Death Mountain. Plenty of density there. Okay, that was a red crystal on Eastern Palace, normal blue crystal in Desert.
The question then is do they head up the mountain first and do Tower of Hera to turn in that green pendant on the way to Eastern?
That seems like a pretty good play to me. I mean, either way, you're entering a dungeon. In Hera's case, it's one that you can complete, but it's a pendant. If you go to Eastern, then you have to decide: am I going to get sucked into Eastern proper, or am I going to stop with Sasrala? And it looks like Gylgamesh does indeed have the mountain on the mind. That's definitely the odds-on play in this situation.
With access to Paradox Cave, it makes a lot of sense too, just density-wise.
Yeah, you go Eastern and you've got max 6 checks between Sage's Closet and Eastern proper. You get that just in Paradox climbing up the mountain, and that's not even counting the Old Man, Spec Rock, Tower of Hera, Spiral Cave.
Love the good shovel strats with the item dashing. Always looks pretty nice to see.
Yep, not much practical good, but so much fun.
I think I've actually seen someone softlock doing that though. Not sure how, but they did it.
You almost have to be trying to do that. That's a fire rod up there on top of Spectacle Rock, so the next little piece of our puzzle.
And we get to see what the odds are as Turtle Rock going to be a pendant, because that's usually how it goes. You get both rods and it's a pendant.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get a Dark World map check out of Fox. Gylgamesh gonna leave Hera behind at least for the moment.
This makes sense, because you can bomb jump back across if you don't see anything in Paradox Cave. I can understand why he's not wanting to go in, see if he can skip it. Like if you get Dark World access through this loop instead.
Yeah, I definitely don't hate the play. And especially with Mirror in your possession, it's not that bad to get back up to Hera if you do leave it behind and later on decide you want to do it after all.
This does give us some divergence at least. See if Gilga is missing something. Hopefully not, but we'll see.
And that's Moon Pearl there in Paradox Cave. And a red cane in the lobby chest of Hera. So that'll be real interesting to see if Gilga does cut his mountain climb short when he gets back to Hera for that.
At least it's not the basement. I know Gilga tends to be a forget the basement kind of player.
Nice Hera bomb jump there from Fox. And it looks like those last two pendants are going to be in Skull Woods and Swamp.
The other 5-6 on TR, so I was wrong.
Yeah.
And blink and you miss it, and Moldorm's already down.
Flippers there in Hype Cave. I was about to say this might be a Flippers optional seed, but no such luck.
Fox just got the mushroom, so that is potentially something else that Gilga could be leaving behind for who knows how long.
Ooh, and that's a bow on Stumpy, so I'm sure Gilga's happy that he didn't go into Eastern any earlier. And Silverbane in chat bringing up a good point, which is that with Swamp Palace being a pendant and the hook shot yet to be found, this could wind up being a Hover and or Moldorm bounce seed.
Not sure about Fox, but I don't believe Gilgamesh is a hoverer. I could be wrong. I personally haven't watched them hover. And I don't know many people who can mold arm bounce. That's I feel like that's an even more niche trick to know than hovering at this point.
Yeah, it's one of those things where each individual part of it is not that bad, but you have to put it all together with such a tight timing window, and with that RNG element too. It's I've put more time than I care to think about into trying to learn it, and to limited success.
I personally don't plan to try to learn it, and hovering's not exactly top on my priority list either, because I know I don't have the coordination for it.
All right, Gilgas heading into the Dark Village area. FoxLisk not far behind. But we can't have our runners neck and neck for too long before they diverge again. Fox is going to head into Skull Woods, Pendant Skull.
Isn't there a little saying I think I've heard, never skip Skullwoods?
I've certainly heard it said. I would not hate at the very least putting it off until after Thieves Town. And there's our Titan's mitts in the C-shaped house.
Oh, chat bringing up that Fox forgot that he had Kane and pulled the statue. I've definitely done that.
Oh, absolutely. Start trying to think 3 steps ahead and forget what's right in front of you. And that was the Quake Medallion there in the front of Thieves Town. And you know what? I'm not sure if Fox did a map check before just now. He might have headed into Skull out of muscle memory, not thinking about dungeon prizes. Fox going to continue along this North Dark World route. Going to give us a look at Graveyard Ledge and presumably at King's Tomb after that. And so far, Gilga getting rewarded for prioritizing those crystals. With those Titan's mitts in hand, he might get pulled south from here. Into Smith Chain. And that's Red Mail in King's Tomb. Nice to have, but hardly necessary.
Looks like we might be getting a Kern jump.
Yep, Fox hasn't found those flippers in Hype Cave yet, so he's going to have to show off some tech here if he wants to get across the river, and he makes it.
It's a different setup. I've never seen that one.
Yeah, I haven't seen that particular one, but it seems like he was using his sword slashes to try and time out the bomb, which is certainly one way to do it.
Good news for Gilga so far. That mushroom doesn't need anything. Still have to think about that green pendant, though. That green pendant could be something.
Yep, and of course he's gonna need to make his way up to Hera for that red cane sooner or later. And if you're a Gilga fan, you're hoping sooner than he gets Mire access. Just $20 on Catfish, so that whole North Dark World expedition not really paying out for Fox. Meanwhile, Gilga at 27 minutes and change, grabbing his first crystal of the race. Gilga still skipping Skull Woods, but he's going to give back a little bit of that time by replicating the rest of this North Dark World path.
Saving a couple seconds with not having to do the current jump. If they choose to continue across the water.
And as our runners cover each other's tracks a little bit, this seems like a good time to remind everybody to give them a follow. They're out here putting on a great show for us today. And at this point, from Gilgamesh's perspective with that bow, that eastern pod area has got to be looking good to him.
It also always looks better when you have the mirror and can combo them together.
Absolutely. Going to be a little bit thorough and go ahead and cross Catfish off his list first. And having already done the North Dark World stuff, I have to imagine that Fox goes south from here, maybe does Smith Chain, grabs Stumpy and his bow along the way. But that'll spit him out at Hype Cave with all the same stuff Gilgamesh has right now, and Pod kind of right there in front of him. And yeah, I'd forgotten that Gilga hadn't done the flipper checks yet, so that's a bit more density to go ahead and check off his list. But and those crystals are right there. You got to get them sooner or later. All right, about to get some new information here over on Gilga's side. Potentially a pyramid check here. This also puts Gilga in a good spot to go ahead and mirror out and check Hobo on the way into Pod, which I don't believe we've seen yet. Just $20 on the pyramid.
Chat saying that Gilgamesh did Hobo already.
Okay, thank you, chat.
That was before my time.
Fox getting his first crystal, taking blind down, and we'll see where he chooses to go from here. Fox picking up those Titan's mitts out of C-shaped house. Sure enough, heading south. This is going to be another good opportunity for Fox to pick up a couple checks that Gilga has skipped so far if he opts to do Smith Chain on his way down to Hype Cave. And that does indeed seem to be the plan. All right, about to start getting some new checks from Fox here. Let's see what Hammer Pegs has for us. Bombos Medallion. We do have 2 Crystal Medallion dungeons and no knowledge yet about what either of them might require. Fox no longer needs to worry about such things, though. He's got all 3. Gylgamesh having gotten through that key-dense front part of Pod, we should be seeing some actual checks here soon. Eventually, after that big key. And there's the hook shot. No worries about Moldorm bouncing today. course, that does also mean that our pendant swamp is full clearable.
Yeah, and you wanna wonder if Gylgamesh is gonna head in there looking for Canis Samaria before he heads back to Tower of Hera.
Yeah, of course, it could still wind up being the right move. We're, I believe, Flute from no mode at this point. But plenty of more interesting plays than a pendant swamp in front of us. We still haven't seen any of the inside of Eastern. We've also got Ice Palace in front of us, as well as Turtle Rock.
Ice Palace is where we're gonna see Fox make up a lot of time, though.
Absolutely, having that red cane for Icebreaker is going to be really nice. And of course, whenever that flute does show up, that's when Fox will have the opportunity, potentially hitting go mode first, to pick up some time by not having to go out of his way for checks. Fox is heading towards Pod to join Gylgamesh, who's almost done with it at this point. But let's see if we see a mirror and a green pendant turn in here on Fox's side. And the answer is no, not quite yet. And Helmasaur goes down on Gilga's side. He's going to deliver the second crystal as well as question mark just bombs. So Fox trailing Gilga by about half, 3/4 of a pod clear at this point, with the very important distinction that he has already grabbed that red cane out of Tower of Hera. Gilga is going to need to make his way back there at some point. At this point, if you're a Gilga fan, the book maybe to draw him back in that general direction would be a good find.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine a scenario that is easy for Gilga to end up back there.
Yeah, it's rough because if you're Fox, you've got that red cane, and Turtle Rock is a full clearable crystal dungeon, but that's what poor Gilga needs to find. He could potentially find an invincibility item, which would put Spike Cave in logic. That's about the only other thing that makes that play very attractive. But of course, we also haven't seen any of Death Mountain, or any of Dark Death Mountain, I should say. No Super Bunny Cave, no Hookshot Cave. So there's a decent amount of good stuff up there.
Yeah, there's potential to dip it while you're up there already.
And Gilga continuing to play a little aggressive. Looks like he's going to go ahead and take the 50-50 and hope that that last item is on the boss and not in the vanilla big key chest of Eastern here.
So this is a tiebreaker race, right? So what does that mean for who wins? For those like me who forget.
I signed up for this on a whim because I saw nobody else had. I have not been following this tournament very closely. I've got the challenge open, and it looks like they are both at 3-3 so far. So, I'm not sure what that means for moving on from group stages.
Aaron Snurd coming in with the important information. Whoever wins gets into brackets. Whoever doesn't, sadly, does not.
Okay, that's what I was thinking, but I didn't want to open my fat mouth and be wrong. Thank you, Mr. Aaron Snurd.
Yeah, that was kind of the boat I was into. I'm like, don't want any misinformation here.
But here in Group K, we've got Plasma Snake currently leading the standings at 4-2. And then rounding out that group of 4 is Ricky of Kokiri, currently at 2-4. And Gilga's gonna make that play to Ice Palace. Makes a lot of sense. When you can get a crystal, it tends to be a good idea. But unfortunately, it is going to cost him a little bit of time not being able to do that icebreaker.
But on the plus side, we get to see a good old-fashioned Ice Palace bomb jump, and those are always nice to see.
I absolutely agree. I started playing this game before Icebreaker was discovered, and darn it, if I have to learn this bomb jump, so does everyone else.
I learned it because it was easier for me to learn than Icebreaker. I now can do Icebreaker, but for the longest time, even though it was a strat that was legal, it was just one that I wasn't able to do.
Yeah, I played this game very casually, not racing or even keeping very close track of my time for quite a long time. And for the longest time, I refused to learn any glitches because I thought that was, I don't know, I had some ideological objection. And then somebody told me, well, okay, but there's a bomb jump that lets you skip like half of Ice Palace. And let me tell you something, my scruples went right out the window. Nice first try Ice Palace bomb jump, making it look easy for us. You love to see it.
The new setup that's been found with like lining your location up with the sword seems to make it a lot easier than previous setups. So it's definitely not free, but it is easier.
And it looks like Fox also going to go ahead and take the gamble and skip the vanilla big key chest here in Eastern. So if that's where our flute's hiding, we're going to have two very chagrined runners. Oh, chat is correcting me. I'm so sorry. Fox did in fact get the vanilla big key chest. And that's a butter sword here in Ice Palace. It's what you call it when your date has a very attractive blade, but not much else about him. I liked everything about her. Wait, no, that'd be the other way around. When your date's a 10, but her sword is rusty.
Glad I have push attack on because I'm sitting here dying a little bit of laughter.
And it looks like that green pendant did not hold the answer. So
That is some good news for Gilga. It's still not great, but it is some good news.
yeah, at this point, if you're a Gilga fan, you're hoping for that flute to be hiding somewhere real mean, so that both runners have to last location it after checking almost everything.
I mean, it's always could be on Ped.
I mean, there's always that. Ped has been a possibility for a while now. Fox following Gilga into Ice Palace. I'm going to be able to do some Icebreaker.
Looks like
And Gilga is on the mountain.
Yeah, let's all hope for the Gilga fans out there that he checks Hera.
That's... Well, thinking about what else does he really have, I think this play makes a lot of sense at this point. It's really this or Smith Chain, I think. Of course, that Smith Chain could still be required. We're about to get our first look at the entrance requirement of Turtle Rock. And Meyer's going to be a mystery until we get there. But that Bombos medallion was, in fact, in Hammer Pegs.
Looks like we're in the clear so far.
Yep, Gilga's going to go ahead and open up the Turtle Rock entrance. Can't do much about it yet, but it's hard to imagine coming all the way up this mountain and for a second time and piecing out without checking all the boxes. Unless he finds his flute here, I could see wanting to do a Crystal Desert over a Pendant Hera. Blue Cane there in Hookshot Cave. That'll put Spike Cave into logic.
This is probably the best case scenario. Check Hera before you go into Spike Cave.
And that does seem to be his plan. Okay, yeah. It's rough. You're right here. It's rough to do to skip this for a second time just to go into Spike Cave, and he's going to be very happy he didn't. And
I see Fox didn't hit the switch, so he's got to take the long way around, I think.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Meanwhile, Gilga's taking his red cane from Hera and leaving, at least for the moment. He could always decide to go back after clearing the Crystal Dungeon with the greater check density, but at least for now, it's all Turtle Rock all the time. And if Gilga does manage to stay away from the rest of Hera, that's going to be nice for him. If he should happen to find Flute here in Turtle Rock, that's going to be really nice for him. But yeah, at this point, Gilga is definitely looking to be in a very nice position, unless that Meyer entrance requirement winds up being Bombos, and even on the off chance that it does, like say you find Flute on Laser Bridge, you turn it in, Flute off to Meyer just to find that it's Bombos. Where do you go after the Desert and Meyer checks?
All he's really got left, I think, is unless you get like the book or something, I can't see him not immediately just going to check Smith Chain. He'll get his Bombos off of Hammer Pegs and just be like, okay, bye.
And there's silvers in the Chain Chomp room, so both of our runners are going to be just ready to absolutely crush that pig. Fox going to go ahead and be joining Gilga in Turtle Rock here. Seems to be kind of the story of this race. Fox with more checks under his belt, but always just about half a dungeon behind wherever Gilga is. Chat bringing up a good point, which is that Swamp Palace is kind of our big question mark. I think the consensus wisdom would be you do Smith Chain first, and then that kicks you out right in front of Swamp Palace anyway. But one could certainly gamble the other way. I'm trying to think if we've seen both items in Skull Woods or just the one. All right, laser bridge incoming over there on Gilga's side. Bunch of nice checks going to be coming fast and furious. Showing off some nice boot skips here. One more to go. No flute. Let's see what Trinex holds for us. And I believe this will be our second red crystal as well, so that puts Pyramid Fairy into the offing. Buttersword making this Trinex fight nice and stress-free. A double spin and a slash to close out that final phase. Just a vanilla heart container for his troubles, but that's another crystal under his belt. Let's see if Gilga hands some of that time back to Fox by going back and completing Tower of Hera at this point.
That looks to be the play for sure. He'll be happy to know that the second item is on the boss, though.
Having a little bit of trouble with his Hera pot here. I'm not sure if he's goofing the setup or there's a variable that can get messed up, which makes this impossible. I'm starting to think he might have gotten that variable offset here. And he's going to do it the old-fashioned way.
I'm surprised he didn't go for the spin or like the hook speed setup.
Nice swaggy red cane dash strats there from Fox, getting through that pre-Trinex room. Fox showing us those nice behind-the-back Trinex strats. And dueling boss explosions, Moldorm and Trinex both go down for the second time each. Gilga's going to show us a Spike Cave. I'm trying to remember where... Oh, I think it was here in Hookshot Cave that he got that blue cane.
Yeah, the top chest at Hookshot Cave.
Yeah, so Fox will have that in a moment. And yep, there it is. Not that you need it when you've got 15 hearts and a hookshot. So both of our runners here are looking for that flute, and it seems like it's very much going to be a game of whoever gets it first has the advantage going into this end game. And it looks like Fox might be making the pendant swamp play here. No, I take that back. He is heading to Pyramid Fairy. And it looks like Gilga's got the same idea, so he is just a couple screens behind Fox. If this flute is anywhere along this path, well, it's not going to be on Pyramid Fairy. So Fox having potentially a bit of a lead going into this end game. He has already done the Smith chain. So Gilga already a couple of screens behind, and with the potential of giving some of that time back. And we're kind of running out of places where that flute could be that would be at all advantageous for Gilga at this point. Yep, Gilga taking some time out to turn in that green pendant. Once you've invested the time to get it, it's good to know whether it was worth that investment, but unfortunately he's going to be disappointed here. And it looks like Gilga is indeed going to follow Fox into Swamp. Brandor in chat saying, I think there is one item left in Skull Woods. I believe you're right. That would be a heck of a Hail Mary play to do that before Smith Chain, but if Gilga manages to make that play, and if that is, in fact, where that flute is hiding, that'd be a big swing. And there's the flute in the back of Swamp Palace in the underwater chest. Fox is in go mode. 1 hour, 9 minutes and change into this seed. And Fox did opt to go into the back first. It's not uncommon when you're just looking for that go mode item to go ahead and do left side first. If Gilga opts to do it that way, that's going to extend Fox's lead. As Josh Bittner points out in chat, still within a range where GT routing could come into effect with virtually all of the safety items. It's not likely that execution is going to make that big of a difference. We've got red mail, butter swords, silvers, and even half magic here.
Looks like Gilga's headed to the back, so that's good news for Gilga.
And yes, indeed, based on that flute grab time, Gilga is about 1:40 behind. Not an insurmountable lead, but feeling very nice if you're Fox. I didn't see if Fox bothered to check the Mire entrance requirement. Not that it's anything he has to worry about, but if it does wind up being that 1 in 3 bombos, Fox has pretty much got this in the bag. Moment of truth. Survey says it is Quake. So Gilga is safe from that particular trap, at least. Fox taking down Landmolas with some silver arrows to the dome and picking up his 6th crystal.
See if we get a God mode mire today.
Not today. The curse of no Godmire when you're in Go mode continues. And that's the big key there in the button chest in the big lobby of Mire.
That has potential to make up some time for Gilga if Fox decides to check Compass Chest or Cutscene Chest.
Yeah, definitely very common to check Compass Chest first. I'd be pretty surprised not to see him put off Cutscene Chest until last, but a couple of screens here. Very nice rail clip there from FoxLisk. I don't think that's technically a rail clip, but you know what I mean. He went through the rail. And Vitreous goes down there on the left side of our screen, but Gilga still has a desert clear ahead of him before he can head up the mountain for the last time.
Looks like trying for some spooky action.
Yep, that was probably right near the break-even point where you might as well have just gone and done it the normal way, but Fox did finally get it, and nice, convenient full magic refill there, too. Not that he should need it. And that will be Fox's 7th crystal. So he just needs to climb that mountain find the GT big key and then climb that tower.
Yeah, I guess it's time for what people here at Speed Gaming like to call the big key guessing game. So everybody, as you can see, people are putting numbers in chat. There is a possibility of the big key being anywhere in the first 22 checks of Ganon's tower. So we have until FoxLisk makes his way into the entrance of GT to get your numbers in. Ben, where do you think it's going to be today?
Oh, let's get crazy. Let's call it tile room. Let's see it. 22.
I'm going to go with 6. I don't know what that's going to be, but we'll see.
Very clean one-cycle Landmo fight for Gylgamesh, grabbing his 7th crystal. And FoxLisk has entered the tower. Gets that small key in Hope Room and is going to continue along to the right. Ooh, you were so close. That was check number 5 by my count. FoxLisk does find that GT big key.
Yeah, it doesn't look like anybody guessed 5, but some of us were close.
And based on tower entrance times, Gylgamesh is about a minute 37 behind Fox at this point. Ooh, and Gylgamesh is going to be heading to the left first, so that's going to widen that lead. Just by a bit, but Gylgamesh needs to be making up time, not giving it away. Fox just cruising through that gauntlet, heading through both of the Wizrobe's rooms.
Gylga's starting his climb now, too.
Fox entering his Moldorm 2 fight should not take him long here. The worm trying to be a little rude, but Fox jukes him with some hookshot iframes. And he's getting past his Moldorm 2 just as Gylga's entering his gauntlet.
That looked like a double over there.
Fairly sure it was. I'm not sure if that was another one just now or if they hit too close to register. That looked like a triple. In any case, the fight is done. The Space Duck's Dark World Doppelganger is going to whisk Fox away to his pig fight. Nice double trident spin there. It's not hard to get that 1+1 with the butter sword, but Fox is doing it and making it look good too.
Like Ganon's being pretty friendly with his warps today.
Yep, and that's going to be entering the final phase here. One more silver arrow ought to do it.
And he's down. GG's. To FoxLisk. And he made it through the bridge, too.
He did, with an official race time of 1 hour, 26 minutes, and 8 seconds. Very speedy time, even for a casual boots. And I'm seeing in race time that Fox is unfortunately unable to give us an interview here today, so we'll take a gander at Gylga's Agatu and Ganon fight and then see if we can get him in here for a runner-up interview. Gilga dropping into his pig fight. No need to get fancy when you've got that butter behind you. Just get yourself into position and slash away. Gilga tanking a couple of bat hits there, but with 16 hearts and red mail, you can do kind of a lot of that before you have to worry.
They do still hit for quite a few hearts, even on red mail, though. Them fire bats are rude.
Yep, fortunately, the dangerous part of the fight is kind of over, and Ganon's patterns are pretty predictable from here on out. Nice fire rod torch glitch.
And with that, he's down again. Good job to Gylgamesh. Get your GGs in chat.
Gylgamesh crosses the bridge at an official race time of 1 hour, 28 minutes, 51 seconds. We'll see whether we can get him in here for an interview in a moment. And we are joined by our runner-up, Gylgamesh. GG.
Gee,
GG, Gilga.
thanks.
So,
Oh.
Era.
Yeah, so yeah, well, I guess the question is, what was the difference there? Because obviously, I don't know what Fox did, and I know he had a run and couldn't chat afterwards.
I think the big difference from what I saw was that he went into Hera the first time up the mountain.
Okay.
Which you
Makes
opted
Ice
to
Palace
skip.
about a minute and a half faster or so.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I don't really regret skipping Hera. I think it was fine there. Like I think either way would have been fine, but it just, you know.
Like, you still weren't even that far behind. Like, we were getting nervous for you, being like, if you don't go back to Hera, then that's kind of, not going to be great.
Right.
But you did, and you were still pretty close for quite a while. It's
Yeah,
just,
I mean, I knew I was going to have to go back up the mountain at some point anyway to do Turtle Rock and the Dark Death Mountain stuff, so I was like, I don't know. Once I got Moon Pearl, I think it was too many other things to do to want to try to do a pendant dungeon, so I was like, eh. Because initially I had planned on going to Hera after I finished Paradox and everything, but the Moon Pearl changed my mind.
Yeah, I think there were some differences in the order of operations, but other than that, the only other big divergence in decision making was, I believe, you skipped out on Skullwoods altogether, and Fox dipped the front for a bunch of nothing.
Yeah, normally I would dip the front. I was just, I don't know, the items were coming so hot and heavy as soon as I hit Dark World. Especially getting that bow and then the mitts and everything, and I was like, well, I have like 3 dungeons I can do that are crystals, so I'm just going to not use Skull Woods right now.
I think the other check that Fox did that you didn't was he did Smith Chain, which we were a little bit worried because Bombos was hammer pegs, and we were getting a little nervous for you heading into Misery Mire, being like, let's hope it's not Bombos.
Yeah, I thought about the Smith chain thing was like, after I finished Thieves, obviously I could have done it, but I really wanted to go north and do Catfish and Zora stuff. So I could have done part of Smith chain, but then I would have orphaned Purple Chest if I did that way, so I figured I'll just leave the whole clump there to come back later if I feel like I need to.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You'd also already done, like you say, Stumpy for Bow and Hype Cave, whereas FoxLisk had not done that yet, so it made more sense for him to do Smith Chain just right down into Hype.
South, sure. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm not like mad about any of the choices I made. I think I can reasonably defend most of them. I think my execution was a little sloppy. I don't know if you guys how early you got the stream up, but my escape was rotten.
I didn't get an invite to the server for a little bit, so
Okay, good.
I
You
missed
didn't
the
get to
first.
see it.
I missed about the first 10 minutes.
And that Aga 2 was pretty horrendous also, but you know, whatever. It happens.
Yeah, obviously both of you are talented runners, having come this far, but I think on both of your ends, sometimes you just have that day where your execution's not bad, but just a little off. So happens to the best of us, and certainly there were certainly a reasonable amount of slip-ups on Fox's side too. So I don't think he had any huge execution advantage.
I didn't keep track of my bonk count, but I bet it was pretty high.
GG's to both of you, nonetheless. It was a great show. Again, give the runners a follow. They put on a great show for us.
Absolutely. Any final thoughts for the people at home before we close out?
Talking to me or Jarek?
Either one, really, but you first.
Yeah, I mean, just, you know, thanks for the restream. Thanks to the tracker and the comms and the chat for watching me bonk 40 times. It seems like it was at least a reasonable race, so hopefully it was a good show.
I certainly enjoyed watching it.
Absolutely. So please do give both of our talented runners a follow, as well as my co-commentator, Jer. Big thanks to everybody behind the scenes at SpeedGaming and here at this Casual Boots tournament. And Jer, I'm going to let you have the last word.
Oh gosh, put me on the spot. We've got a lot of more Casual Boots action coming on soon-ish. I don't believe I saw any more on the Casual Boots SpeedGaming thing, but don't forget to check out the Casual Boots schedule. There will be lots more races to go as we're getting closer to brackets. And then, do we know if there's anything else going on SpeedGaming wise? We got the Cross Keys tournament going on too. I think SpeedGaming's picking up a few of those. Lots of rando action if you're feeling rando. Being said, do you have anything left to say, Ben? Or are we good?
I think we're good. Endings are hard. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with us.